Hello everybody and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where you boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, what are the Toronto Blue Jays going to do with Bo Bichette? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to extend him? Are they going to move him over to second? We're going to talk all about it. But before we do, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel as we're posting daily MLB content and Blue Jays content, of course. All right, Nick, let's talk about it. There's been an article right now that's been released on the internet, and it's talking about Blue Jays' Bo Bichette dilemma. Obviously, he's in the arbitration right now. You know, we're not really getting any word on who's winning in this conversation, because they either got to go with the Blue Jays offer of $5 million or the $7.5 for Bo Bichette.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are we going to do with Bo Bichette once he gets back on the team? Because of course he's going to play this season. Yeah. What are you going to do with him? Are you going to continue to play him? Are you going to trade him? Like, what are we thinking?
There's a bunch of different options, obviously. And from this standpoint, I want to come out here and I want to preface this whole video by saying I like Bo Bichette as a player. I like him as a person. I want what's best for him, but ultimately, I am a Blue Jays fan. So whatever the Blue Jays team decides to go with, even if it hurts me on the inside, I am going to still be a Blue Jays fan and ride with them along that journey. There's been speculation from the fan base, from you guys, that maybe it's time to move on. There's been other people saying, no, we need to extend him. He's part of the core. And then other people are just like, screw it, and move him over to somewhere else. I think that when he comes back onto the squad, which he will do this season, the first thing that you need to do is you need to sit him down, you have to have a conversation, and you have to address what this article, like the first thing that they bring up is this big elephant in the room talking about, well, were we really after Xander Bogaerts? Was what Scott Boras came out and said, was that actual reality? If it is reality, then you need to sit down, you need to talk to your star player, and you need to explain to him the entire situation and hope that he's not really pissed off about it.
I mean, yeah, you're going to have good communication skills, because we've seen in the past, it's same thing in this article, where they talked about Marcus Stroman, how when they were having tough arbitration talks about whether he's going to be the guy, the ace of the future, and there was really some bad words, not like bad words like F you, but like some bad... Maybe
there was that too, we don't know.
Yeah, who knows, but there was some bad talk to him saying that like he's not going to be a part of the team in the future, he's not that important to them. So I wonder what kind of talks are going on with Bo Bichette, because if he's going to get quote-unquote replaced at shortstop, it's like, well, they need to have that narrative. Like, they need to talk to him before, like, okay, look, we want to bring someone in because, let's be honest, he's not that good playing defensively at shortstop. So, hey, if we bring in a star player to complement the team, we want to make you the permanent second baseman. But does Bo Bichette want that, especially from a payday standpoint?
Well, and I do think it really does boil down to the communication. When this news about Xander Bogaerts came out, I made a video about it, and I talked about how this is a big deal, and some people in the comments were like, what do you mean? It's no big deal. Just move him over to second. And the way that I look at that is like, okay, sure, I guess like it doesn't mean that Bo Bichette's like immediately going to be leaving the team or anything, but obviously like he likes playing shortstop. He grew up playing shortstop. He told himself that he's your shortstop.
The Blue Jays told him that you're the shortstop.
On his baseball card, it says shortstop, right? So that's his starting position, and just from a human standpoint, you're obviously going to get a little bit, upset or pissed off or however about being taken out of that, and that's not even got anything to do with your abilities on the field and how you're going to perform at second base, because we're just all assuming that once he goes over there, all of the defensive problems will be solved, which we actually don't even know, though. We actually don't even know, right? Don't know. So that's completely on the field stuff, which we haven't even figured out yet. I'm just talking from the human element that needs to be addressed first off, foremost. You need to have that conversation.
Okay, so you have the conversation, Bo Bichette. This is what we're going to do, but obviously right now we're not going out and getting any big shortstops off the free agent market. It's way beyond that.
The ship has sailed.
The ship has sailed. So now he's going to be your starting shortstop in 2023. Moving forward, if he continues to struggle defensively, what do you do? Do you go out and look at the next free agency looking for a shortstop, or do you continue to ride with them and then maybe go to the end? Like, what do you do now? Do you try to give Bo Bichette an extension?
As far as I'm concerned, the whole possible reason that we were in on Xander Bogaerts in the first place, other than the fact that he would add a lot of offense, is probably because of his better defensive abilities than Bo Bichette, which actually
he's not much better.
Exactly, he only just recently became like a little bit better than Bo Bichette. But I still think that whole problem of him, being right, like 7 outs above average. This is not good numbers, right? I still think that is a concern, And I still think that even though you didn't get Xander Bogaerts, you probably need to make this transition, or at least talk about making this transition, right? Like, know that it's on the radar and that we're actively looking at people. Maybe we bring up a prospect at some point in Bo Bichette's tenure, and he becomes a shortstop. Like, Bo Bichette needs to be aware, I think, that unless he really does pull up his socks, that position is not his anymore.
See, well, here's the thing. It's like you're saying about prospects, you know, in this article, they're also talking, like, there isn't really any dominant shortstop that's, like, in the wings.
Well,
waiting
that
to
is
take
part
it
of the
over.
problem.
Exactly.
Yes. That is part of the problem.
There's no one ready to take over that shortstop role in our system. That's why we're looking externally. So you kind of have to ride with Bo Bichette beyond this point. Like, he's going to sign his arbitration. You're going to have to ride with him. What I think's going to happen is you're going to ride with him all the way to the end of his contract, but somewhere along the way, you might get a ridiculous offer from the Dodgers or the Braves. Those are two teams that really need a shortstop and might put in some kind of huge offer. Not a Juan Soto type offer, but something very similar. Where it's going to involve some multiple prospects, some big prospects. You're going to get some offer. Now, you have to assess where the team's at that standpoint. Like, are we a contending ball club? Most likely, yes. So you're going to have to decide, do we decline this?
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to need some sort of shortstop in return to play right away.
That's exactly part of the problem, right? It's like we're looking at this squad like we're going to be contending. We're going to be a World Series favorite, apparently, from Brandon Belt for the next few seasons, right? If we want to do that, you kind of need to have a really good starting shortstop, right? It's like any team that wins the World Series, usually that is a position of strength for them. So trading away Bo Bichette, we cannot be actively shopping around Bo Bichette right now unless we're getting at least a player of similar caliber in return. Right? We can't be losing Bo Bichette's bat, Teo's bat, Lourdes Gurriel's bat. Like, this all can't happen at the same time, right? Like, his bat is super important. So I think in the interim, in this kind of like transitional phase right now, while we're still hoping that the team's going to be good, you hold on to Bo Bichette. And I do think, though, that internally speaking, if Bo Bichette is still struggling and it's like June or something like that, and it's like Error City, like, why aren't we cycling in Espinal in that spot? Like, why aren't we trying somebody? You know, it's like you have to try something because, yes, Bichette is amazing, but we've seen that defense hurt us in the past. And at the end of the day, like I said, starting off this video, I'm a Blue Jays fan. I want the Blue Jays to win the most games possible. Right now, I don't know if it's with Bichette's defensive abilities at short.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to that conversation, right? Because if you're going to talk to him like, hey, look, we just want what's best for the team. If you want what's best for the team, maybe try playing second. We know Espinal can play a better shortstop than you. Like, it's just, like, let's just try this out. But then again, for the next, I think it's 3 years that you're going to have Bo Bichette right through this arbitration process. Is there going to be some conflict with the management? Is there going to be some conflict with other players?
And
I don't know.
That's why you need to be 100% communicative starting like yesterday, right? It's like those conversations need to be happening. And I also think, too, you probably need to make Bichette aware, even though this might suck, but you probably want to make him aware that, I mean, we were looking for your replacement, and we're going to be honest, you know, I think every player knows this, kind of like, you know, if the right deal comes around, but maybe just vocalize that again. I don't think that we're actively going to be shopping him, and I think that they should tell him that we're not actively going to be shopping you.
Which definitely not.
Which we should not be doing. But you're right. Like, if that right deal emerges, your name could come up, sort of thing.
Because we're probably not going to extend him, and I think at this point it might become pretty obvious unless he somehow like becomes amazing defensively.
Right.
Which maybe at that point, Bo Bichette's, you know what? You were undervaluing me the whole time as a Toronto Blue Jay. Maybe I want to go test the market and find someone who really values us.
And that is his right to do so. That is absolutely his right to do so. But I think that as of right now, I don't think that the right move is to extend Bo Bichette because I think that we're already seeing, right, he's valuing himself at 7.5. We're valuing him at 5. I mean, you extrapolate that to a 10, 11-year deal, which whatever he's going to want.
Right.
You know, that $2.5 million difference becomes $75 million difference, right? It's like, it becomes a lot more as the numbers get a lot bigger. So I just think that he's going to value himself right now a lot more than what we value him as, which is totally in his right to do so. You know, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
So that means extension off the table for now until you can prove why you deserve that additional X amount of money that you think you deserve.
Yeah. Basically, guys, Blue Jays, you got to talk to Bo Bichette. You got to admit you're wrong, you know, in terms of like, we should have talked to you earlier before going out and looking for a Xander Bogaerts type player. And then move forward, because that's the best thing you can do for this team. We're trying to win right now. We're not trying to play strategy games right now. We're not trying to play math with Bo Bichette. You're a good player. You led the league in hits twice, 2 years in a row. We want you on this ball club.
And don't trade him, because we do need him, right?
Exactly.
Like, we cannot lose that offensive production. As much as like it pains me to watch some of those goddamn plays at shortstop, and it is like, it definitely is detrimental. He does make up with it in the bat. We kind of just need to cross our fingers and hope that maybe actually this was a bit of a wake-up call for him, being like, if I don't figure this out, like, my future on this team is 100% questionable, and even though, like, I'm pissed off at this squad, I'm going to take it out on them by being even better, by proving them wrong.
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe.
I agree with you, man. And guys, let us know in the comments down below, what do you think about this whole Bo Bichette dilemma? Is he going to get that extension? Probably not. Or do you think, you know what, let's just go ahead and trade him anyways, because we don't really need him on the team. But you guys let your thoughts known in the comments down below.
Also, $3 a month to become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of our current Patreon members. And also, guys, you can become a YouTube member as well. Same perks, same everything. I think the things are in the description down below, so check them out. It's great.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!